Hello, it's Fabio with Patterns on the Fly. Today I'll show you to tie the Lil Kim Streamer. Hope you enjoyed the video and we'll see you next week. Okay, we're gonna tie the Lil Kim Streamer. I already put a hook in my vise. This is a Tiemco 5263 size 4. This is a 3x long forged hook that is for, it's to tie streamers. I already put a black conad and I put a few wraps of lead wire. This is size 020. I'm gonna get my olive 140 denier thread. I'm gonna start right behind the lead wire to keep it in place. I'm gonna cut the excess of the thread off and I'm gonna go over the lead wire to make sure that it stays in place. And then I'm gonna move my thread all the way to the back of the hook. And I'm gonna start about where the barb of the hook is. Then I'm gonna get a blood quill marabou feather. These are bigger feathers than you would get out of a woolly bugger marabou. So keep that in mind. I'm gonna work on bunching up the this plume together, and we want the plume to be about 1.5 times the length of the hook shank. So I'm going to lay it over here, make a few thread wraps, and then I'm going to cut this a little short than where the wraps of lead wire are, and then I'm going to secure the end of the marabou. Okay, so now that we got the marabou tied in, I'm going to make a wrap or two under it, so to keep that marabou from falling back down. Then I'm going to get some Flashabou in copper color. I'm going to get 4 or 5 strands. I'm going to wet my fingers and wet the Flashabou so that keeps it together, makes it easier to tie. I'm going to lay this along the marabou on my side. Like so. I'm going to tie it about the length of the marabou. I'm going to move the Flashabou on the other side of the hook, the one facing the camera, and then I'm going to tie this Flashabou along along the tail along the marabou tail. And again, I'm going to cut this about the length of the marabou. Already, so we got the tail, we got the copper Flashabou on either side of the tail. I'm going to get some crystal flash. You can use olive. This is a bluish olive accent. I'm going to cut 5 or 6 strands. And I'm going to tie this over the tail now, right on top of the tail. I'm going to make a couple of loops there. And then I'm going to fold the front part of the crystal flash over, and then I'm going to cut it again about the length of the marabou. Okay, so now I'm going to use this red thread here. And I'm going to tie this again at the bottom at where the tail starts. And we're going to use this material to build a red accent that's going to bleed through as we tie the rest of the fly. Then I'm going to get some large cactus hackle in pearl. You can use different materials. You can use UV Polar Chenille. There's a lot of different materials you can use. I'm going to cut maybe 4 or 5 inches here. We're not going to need more than that. And again, I want to secure this on the same side where I secured this red material. Then I'm going to Palmer this red accent material, and again you can use something like I'm using. You can use dubbing, ice dubbing in red. It's just something that we want some color that bleeds through as I palmer the cactus chenille later. I got tangled up here in my bobbin. 1 second here. And then I get to about where the lead wire starts, and I'm going to secure this with a couple of thread wraps. I'm going to cut this off. Now I'm going to grab the ice, cactus hackle. I'm going to palmer that along the hook shank, making sure that as I palmer, that I grab all those fibers and push them back. So we don't want to trap. We want to trap as few as these fibers as we can. Again, every time I make one wrap, I grab those fibers with my index and thumb of my left hand, and I pull them back. And I'm gonna make one wrap, more wrap, and then secure it. I'm gonna cut this material off. I'm gonna use this to tie another fly. Okay, so now you can see we got the tail, the Flashabou, the crystal flash on top, and then the hackle cactus pearl over it. I'm gonna get some more copper Flashabou. Again, we're gonna get 4 or 5 fibers. Again, I'm gonna wrap my fingers. I'm gonna run the Flashabou between my thumb and index, and then I'm gonna set these and secure them on my side of the hook. And then I'm going to fold the Flashabou over and secure it on the other side along the hook shank again. And we want this to be again about the length of the marabou tail. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna build a red throat for this fly. I'm gonna get some red crystal flash. I'm gonna get 4 or 5 strands. You want to make sure that these are the same length. I'm going to tie them underneath, right behind that conad. Then I'm going to grab these, the front parts of the crystal flash, and block that down. Like so. I'm going to make sure that they are all about the same length. Okay, so we got that part done. Then I'm going to add we're going to add a wing. I'm going to get another olive marabou feather. I'm going to actually this time want to pull a bunch of fibers off the marabou feather, lay them on top, so they're about they get to about half the length of the tail that we created earlier. I'm going to secure this with a couple of wraps. I'm going to cut the excess. I'm going to grab some more fibers from the other side of the feather. I'm going to pull them off, grab them, and lay them on top again. Lock them down. Cut those off. If you like them bushier, you can add some more. I'm going to add a few more. Again, I'm grabbing the marabou feather from the stem, and I'm going to pull down, and I can get some of the fibers off. And then I can cut the excess off, like so. So we're almost done. I'm going to put a couple of wraps here to keep that the ends down. So now I'm going to get a schlappen feather. As you can see, this schlappen feather has marabou at the beginning, and then regular fibers. I'm going to use some of this marabou. I'm going to cut right there. And so now, as I build the front of the fly, we're going to have some of the marabou feathers, and then the regular fibers. Okay. So I'm going to secure this right behind the conad with a few wraps. And I'm going to secure this with a half hitch. Then I'm going to get the schlappen feather. I'm going to get my hackle pliers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the feather up and run my scissors along the schlappen, and that makes it easier to palmer. I got my hackle pliers. I'm grabbing the schlappen feather, and again, as I wrap it, I make sure that the fibers are. I fold the fibers back with my left end. And I keep palmering it well, several wraps right behind that conad. Then I go over with the thread a couple of times to lock it in place. and then I cut the excess of the schlappen feather off, like so. Then I gently stroke those fibers back, get my whip finisher, and make a few whip finishing loops right behind the cone head. I'm gonna cut the thread off. I'm gonna get my fancy brush, which is an old toothbrush. So always have one handy, and then I'm gonna brush the fly so that all these materials blend together. Alrighty, and there you have it, the Lil Kim. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next week.